I am Denise Crafting, Instructional Technologist from Heartland AEA, presented on using Gooru Learning website to support STEM. The purpose of the resources that I am sharing with you have been shown to support differentiation, student engagement, critical thinking, and content learning. These are free resources that are available for teachers and students, such as interactives, readings, websites, assessments, videos, questions, slides, textbook resources, handouts, and lessons. Guru collections do a nice job of connecting to the Iowa core. They can be used via computer or mobile devices in a blended learning classroom, flipped classroom, as a project-based instruction approach, and for enriched instruction. So let's begin. Notice my web address is www.gurulearning.org. This link will be also available on this page which you are viewing. You'll want to create an account, and once you have an account built, you'll want to sign in. I am signed in as myself. And let's take a look at a few of the options that Guru Learning has. Under the Discover menu at the top, you can search for and view resources. These resources can be put into learning collections, which can then be shared with your students. If we take a look at the possibilities, I can go ahead and discover something. I can search for it. I can filter it by grade level. I can also filter it by possible standard. If you look at this heading down here under Teachers Picks, you will see that there are resources to support math, resource to support science, social studies, language arts, and they are working on many more. Let's look for resources for earth science, and let's go ahead and type in oceans in the Discover box. Note that I can choose that particular collection. I'm going to go ahead and choose search. I have the option of choosing just the resources, and by the resources I mean the things that I mentioned earlier. Look at the categories on the left. Those are all the resources that you have and the ones that I had previously mentioned. I could further filter these by the specific category or by the specific source, standard, subject, and grade level. For now, I'm just going to stay with oceans. We'll take a look at resources in a minute, come back to those. The next tab here is called Collections. A collection is a group of resources that have been compiled together for student learning. Now, there are several such collections already built, some by teachers, some by professionals at Guru Learning. And so I have a choice to take a look at this particular collection. I'm going to go ahead and click on it if I wish to see what it is, or if I want to add it to my account as a collection. Do you see it says here, drag to add? Over on the right, it says drag a collection here to save it. So I could drag any collection up into my save component, and you can see that it's sitting underneath my login. I have the ability to edit this. So if I take a look at this ocean floor, it has a video, that's an underwater vents. It has an interactive, more video, websites, more work. And so you can see what the content is based upon the icon that's to the left of it. I'm going to go ahead and click on edit because I can edit any collection that someone else has built. Perhaps I don't want some of these resources or want to add other ones instead. So if I click the edit button, it will go ahead and load that content. If I want to rearrange it, I just click on it and drag it up or down. If I want to edit that particular resource, I click on the edit button. That pops up when I'm over to the right of it. And notice that I could edit or copy. I could even physically remove it. So let's say I don't want this particular video. I'm going to click remove. So let's say you want to add another resource to this particular collection, a resource that resides within Guru Learning. I'm going to go back to search the ocean. So if I click the back button to search for all ocean resources, notice now that resources is a highlighted item, and I'm going to find something about ocean species, and I want to drag it into my ocean floor. If I click on or move over any of the different items within the resources, notice it says drag to add. If I click on it and drag it over the ocean floor collection, that particular item is now ocean species in the collection of ocean floor. I now can go back and edit it. You will see that it's there at the bottom, and again I can drag it and move it around like I had mentioned previously. And now we can talk about additional resources. But I can also add other questions if I wish to have it be unique to my assessment. If I click New Resource, I just want you to see that I can also add resources outside of Gooru Learning. So let's say that I found a website that I didn't have in Gooru Learning that I really think is important to add to this ocean production. I go ahead and type the web address in, add the URL, and then the description. I can choose what category I have so that it has the icon by it, and then I would click Add, and it would show up in that particular collection. So I have an example for you. That's also on the site that I shared with you, or that you're getting from here. It's a bit.ly, so it's shortened for you. And it is 19DA, capital T, capital R, lowercase b. And that will get you into an example that I built for this particular process. If you take a look at this one, you can see that I added my own name, my own group. This has been shared with you as if you were students in my class, and that's the nice thing about Gooru Learning is you can share these resources, and I will show you how to do that. But you'll notice that you have the ability, here's some information, I click on this particular learning and it takes me through that collection on the ocean floor. So let's click on the ocean floor. I'll give you a little bit of time to explore that. If I click on it as a student, you see that it will take me into some information about this. If I click study, and again, this is how a student would see this. Let's click study, and this would launch the video in here. They can listen to that, come up with information. Again, this is not necessarily done in isolation. You may want to have some learning goals and objectives for them so they know what they are looking for. When they finish that resource, they hit the arrow over on the right to go to the next component that was built into this particular collection, which happens to be interactive, where they can look for warm water and do some work with that. And then as they continue to grow through these collections and learn and accomplish learning goals that you want them to have, they continue the next section. And you can have as many and as diverse amount of resources that you want to have for students. So if you think about differentiating for your students, you'll notice that when we talk about adding this content for students, you could have 5 groups for the same class where you differentiate by levels on those students. So let's go back to our collection that I shared with you under Earth Science and talk a little bit more about what this setup might look like. So let's talk about creating a class page so that you can do exactly what I just did for you. At the top, the other category we're going to get into is called Teach. If I click on Teach, these are the class pages that I've already built. I have 2 Earth Science classes, one that's the Nice group and one that is a shale group, named after different types of rocks. So I'm going to click on New Class Page. I give it a title. Let's call this Biology Green since I already have a red one. Now I can create assignments or collections. This class code is what I could give to students. They could log in to Gooru Learning, enter that class code and get into my assignments, or I could share this particular web link with them, which is what I shared with you to get into my Earth Science one. Anytime I can add any additional assignments. What you need to know, however, in the assignments, it is the newest is at the top. So if you want to have several items and then you decide, oh, I want to add a new item, but I want it in the middle, you need to add it in the hierarchy you want it to be used. I would use the Discover Thing tab to find any new work and search for the information that I want. So this is on biology. Let's search for mammals. And again, I'm looking under the resources because I want to build my content to add to that particular course. Now, I don't have a collection built, and I want to add a collection to my course. So a collection, again, contains many resources. So let's say that I wanted these 2 items, maybe 3 items in my particular collection. I'm going to click on and drag over to where it says drag a resource to create a new collection. This collection is going to be called Biology Mammals. I'm going to select the grades, which will be sophomores. The course will be a biology course. Now I'm going to make it shareable. I don't want to make it public for myself. This is something that you can think about, but I don't make them public that I share what with the world, but I do want them shareable to share with my students. So I'm going to leave it shareable. I'm going to click OK. And now this particular collection called Biology Mammals has been created, and that small mammals video has been added. I want to also add this particular item to that collection. Now again, it says click drag to add. If I click on it and I drag over the title of the collection, which in this case is Biology Mammals, it's going to add it to my collection. I can go down here and find a quiz. Again, click, drag it over the collection name, and it gets added to my particular collection. Once I am done, I can now add these to my class. I do that by going to the Teach, the top, finding my Biology Green, which is the one that I started, and now I can add a new collection. And these are the collections that have been put under your account. So if I click on Add Collection to Assign, I'm going to hit the down arrow, find the Biology Mammals, click Add, and that particular collection of the 3 items that I've added are part of this assignment for students. Note that there is no title for the assignment. It's called Untitled Assignment. So I'm going to click the Edit button. I'm going to give it a name that says Learn About Mammals. I could give it a due date on here for students. I'm not going to, but you do have that choice. I'm now going to click Update. So I now have an assignment of information that I want my students to go through. I want to make sure that it looks the way that I want it to for kids. So if you look over here, you'll see where it says Student View. If I click on Student View, this is what a student would see. Notice that the other things are there, and for some reason, Untitled Assignment did not get taken care of. Let me return back to the Teacher View. They may just need to have a little bit of time to load. But anyway, that's what the kids would see. Again, here is the class code to share with your students. Here is the web address if you wish to go it in that way. If I use the class code, they actually come to Gooru Learning, log into their account, and they would add that class code. If you remember from my Earth Science one, I had a different image here. You can click Edit Image and bring in a JPEG image that represents the content that you'll be teaching in this particular class. Well, that is Gooru Learning in a nutshell, very quick, down and dirty. Just a couple of final things. If I click on the Discover here, notice there is a How to Use Gooru that will help you through, has some videos, information to help you use this resource. There's a really nice connection for Gooru in the classroom that talks about how you could use Gooru Learning in a variety of resources, different teaching methods, if you will. Again, more things on how to get started. Under the Help menu, you will see again there is more information, more guides, more resources. So this is just kind of a down and dirty video to get started using Gooru Learning. These resources are all free. You can see that there are enough resources to help support the different types of learners in your classroom. If you have any questions, you feel free to contact me or contact support@gurulearning.org. Hope you enjoyed the presentation.